The FBI will not say whether the software had been used against Sony Pictures, which was the target of a serious cyber attack last week. North Korea is suspected to be behind that attack. I asked technology expert Graham Williams how significant tonight's warning is.
It's a very serious attack. For Sony Pictures coming in on Friday, seeing their computers locked out completely, it's probably the worst thing that can happen to a company.
And what's going on here?
Essentially what's happened is a malicious payload, malware, has been downloaded by someone at Sony. Whether that was complicit or not, we don't know. But essentially has seized control of the network. It locked everybody out of their computer. So imagine you come into work, you go to sit down, log in to get your email, and you can't. There's a screen there that says, unless you meet our demands, you'll never get control of your network back.
So physically, somebody from inside Sony would have put this into the system, and as you say, they may have been complicit with the hackers, or maybe they just used a little thumb drive that they didn't know was infected. Is that how that would have worked?
That's quite possible. Or the other alternative here is that somebody at Sony may have downloaded pirated information or pirated data. We've actually seen from the release of this malware group that Sony did have pirated movies on their network, which is quite ironic because they've been very active in the fight against piracy. That may have carried that payload with it, which would have locked them out of their own network.
So this evening we saw a series of alerts announcing this FBI warning, and it sounds like this warning goes far beyond just Sony Corporation.
Absolutely. This could extend to anyone who has downloaded a file infected by this payload. That means it could be any corporation, could be movies, could be banking, could be retail, anything like that. Being locked out of your network at this point means that the hackers have access, you don't. They could release these files. Obviously, if demands are met. We have seen this kind of thing happen in the past. Usually demands are either Bitcoin or they're looking for something from the company, either in the way of data or in the way of money.
So hang on a sec. One of the things with this Sony hack is that movies that hadn't been released yet in North America were suddenly available to people who can get movies on the internet. Those may be infected with this malware?
It's quite reasonable to think that they could be infected. I don't want to scaremonger here. You probably shouldn't be downloading pirated files anyway. But if you are downloading these files, there's no reason to believe why this group would not go ahead and do that. The more victims they have, the better it is for them.
So presumably there's more in it for them to target big corporations. Is it possible that individuals, it sounds like it is, individuals who have downloaded this pirated material, their computers may be at risk as well at home?
Absolutely. If you're running a Windows-based PC, if you don't have up-to-date malware protection, I would recommend doing that immediately. This is currently a Windows-based attack, so if you do run a PC that's running Windows 8 or Windows 7, make sure you've got malware protection. That's just good common sense.
So two quick follow-up questions. One is, can you describe what malware is in a couple of sentences for those of us who don't immediately know?
It's malicious software that's designed to infect or damage your system, something that you download that does stuff that you don't want it to do.
And my other question is, do you think this is at all possibly connected to North Korea?
It really seems like it might be. The code that's actually part of this malware attack was seen in an attack by a North Korean group in March of 2013. So absolutely, it could be connected to North Korea right now.
I don't know anyone who can describe all these things to us in such a short amount of time and have it make sense. Graham, thank you very much.
My pleasure.